A quick note before this video properly begins. As many regular viewers will already no doubt know, my channel has been demonetized by YouTube, and so this channel is now financially reliant upon you, the viewers. For those who would wish to help out and do their bit to help combat YouTube's attempts to silence and censor me, I am now both on Patreon and Subscribestar, and am asking for donations of $1 per month. Apparently some of my viewers are so generous that they have found ways to donate more than that, but every little bit helps, and $1 per month is basically a soda pop per month to help combat YouTube's attempts to silence me. I am also, by the way, on alt-tech platforms such as Odyssey, Bitchute, and Rumble, so you may want to subscribe to me there if you haven't already. For those curious, links will be left in the description below to all of this as well as in a pinned comment. Thank you again for your time, thanks to those who have already donated, and with that said, let's get to the video itself. Hello everyone, Ace here, and today let's talk about the latest victim of the far-left extremists. In this case, a mod for the recently released Spider-Man Remaster for PC, the mod in question being known as Non-Newtonian New York, which replaces the pride flag with the stars and stripes. And that's it. The mod doesn't actually do anything else as far as I can tell, so all it does is swap out a single texture. That said, it was still certainly more than enough to outrage the perpetually offended far left, who called the mod homophobic and said that it erased all representation of the members of the LGBT ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOPQRSTUVWXYZ plus minus multiplication division community of Ulm. Now, of course, anyone who is paying attention will no doubt notice, though, that if all it takes to remove the entire representation of the members of the LGBT ABCDEFGHIJKLMNOPQRSTUVWXYZ plus minus multiplication division community of Ulm is changing a single texture within the entire game, then that's a sign that the texture was only in there to virtue signal and nothing else. It's a sign that the members of that community don't actually play a part in the game at all, and that the utilization of the pride flag itself was just simple tokenism. So in other words, the far leftists that are complaining are pro-tokenism. Though this should come as no surprise to anyone that has been paying attention to the ideology of social justice, specifically because that ideology promotes viewing people as groups rather than as individuals. And what can you expect from SJWs when they view gay people as not actually people, but rather as a collage of walking, talking stereotypes? This is also why whenever an SJW creates a quote diversity character, or tries to anyways, they end up instead creating a caricature that ends up being pure cringe. This is an inevitable problem when you have an exclusively collectivist mindset. Getting back to the topic at hand, however, it is worth noting the outrage mobs were able to get what they wanted, as Nexus Mods decided to not only ban the mod itself, but also the person who created it. Because again, changing a single texture in an entire game is simply unacceptable, unless of course you happen to have a Middle Eastern copy of the game, which appears to not actually have the pride flag in it. Further driving home the point that this was just an example of petty and toothless virtue signaling on the part of the developers to include the flag in the first place. It also of course shows that the far leftists who decided to cancel this mod don't actually care about the issues they claim to champion. And to make it clear to those particular far leftists, I need to say that swapping out the pride flag in a mod does not in and of itself make that mod homophobic. Plenty of people are sick and tired of vapid virtue signaling and see it for the facade that it is. Most people do not like being lied to. And frankly, is it not a case of people being lied to when someone tries to virtue signal about how morally superior they are over them doing nothing more than checking a box off of a list? In that same tone, most people don't like being preached at either, especially by individuals who are demonstrably total hypocrites and have no moral principles whatsoever. And that's also what's happening here when we have far leftists openly defending an example of tokenism whilst at the same time trying to pretend that they aren't actually in favor of tokenism. In other words, despising virtue signaling and showing how shallow and pointless it is by creating a mod to remove it from a game does not actually make you a bigot. Now, I could continue a little bit more, but I believe I've said all that really needs to be said here. So I'll leave by saying that I'll be providing links in the description below to an archive of the article I used, so you can check it out if you should so desire. But in any case, this has been Ace. Hope to see you guys again soon. Take care. Ace out.